Hey, hey! Thank you so much for joining me again for another Knowing You interview of our empathic, beautiful, spiritual, loving community. Today, I have an amazing guest. Her name is Michelle Kopper, and she is a visibility expert. You know how I'm always talking about, heal those wounds to feel seen, loved, heard, understood, and like you belong. Well, she focuses on helping you to feel seen, getting visible, getting your message out into the world.
Yeah.
And so I'm really happy to have Michelle with us today. Yes, thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
So you're talking about some of my favorite, topics in terms of being seen, right? Being heard, it's all under those core wounds that I love to talk about and facilitate healing for.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited for where we're going to go today. It's going to be good.
So for you though, what is why is it important to be visible and seen and heard?
For everybody or for me?
I think can we go with both? Can we talk about both?
Okay. I have two, please?
Start with you.
Well, it's part of why I'm called to do the work that I'm called to do, because I felt that calling into something big when I was very young. And that manifested at first as being an angel in the church choir. I just wanted to sing with the angels at Christmas. That's all I wanted. And I, of course, had that opportunity. And there I was actually, I just found this. I've been using it a little bit. You won't be able to see it, but you get the feel. There's little tiny angels there. It's like from 1972 paper. I'm going to try and figure out if we can blow it up. That's me on the stage about to sing with the angels. And I was so excited. It was I was going to complete my life's dream in that moment. And the lights came up and I was filled with inexplicable terror. And I fled to sit on my grandma's lap. And I repeated that again and again and again for about 20 years, called to be seen and wanted to sing. And every time I did, my body would betray me. My throat would close. I would panic. And then I would just judge myself. What is wrong with you? So I have been on a journey to find and free my voice and clear and heal blocks around being seen and heard for my whole life. Every long story step towards where I am today has been to heal and overcome my own holding back and hiding and feeling like I can't speak up and can't find my voice. And I became a professional performer, and I did lots of TV commercials, and I, had my own rock band, and I had songs that just downloaded into me after a massive transformation. And so the work I do today, why visibility and being seen and heard is important for me personally, is because we're here to transcend the limits. We're here to heal. We're here to expand. And that's what I was called to expand into. Now, gratefully, so blessed, so grateful that because of my inexplicable fear and all of the different ways that I have had to claim and reclaim and heal my voice, claim my right and permission and own permission, my own permission to trust myself and be seen and heard, I'm uniquely able to help others do that. A lot of people who feel called also feel really held back. It does not feel safe. People have used these words with me, these specific words, without prompting, again and again and again, hundreds of times. It feels like I will be killed. And so with that level of calling, it is very common for that feeling that we could die. And then we judge ourselves because we think, well, nobody's going to kill me. I'm just going to do a video, right? So my calling has been to find and free my own permission to be fully self-expressed. And that calling has grown into my business online today to help others claim their presence, claim their voice, claim their message, and be fully self-expressed, because that's what we're here to do.
Love it. Yeah, I love it. It's so true. Like, we need to give ourselves permission to own that we're safe and that we are safe to be seen and safe to be heard and safe to be expressed and be that angel singing on stage,
Yeah.
like you were mentioning.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, why do you think it feels so vulnerable for some people?
Yeah, I'm going to say it feels that vulnerable for most people. We often think that we're like just those of us who are highly sensitive or empathic or intuitive. We feel like we're such a raw nerve sometimes walking around in the world, right? So we think it's just us, and we need to kind of man up a little bit, right? But there's many stats that will tell you 75% of people feel awkward or uncomfortable speaking in public. All right, it's normal. It goes all the way back to caveman days, where if we got kicked out of that cave, we were not going to be safe. We were going to get eaten by the saber-toothed tiger. Actually, I don't know if the cavemen and the tigers were alive at the same time, but it's a nice idea. It was not safe to be ostracized, to be kicked out, to be ridiculed, and that continues on in today. Most of us have been teased or judged or shamed or shut down by someone, sometimes very well-meaning people, trying to keep us safe from embarrassment and safe. I just did. It's so funny. Those words are coming up. A couple days ago, we had a technology snafu, and I was called to do a Facebook Live about dying of embarrassment. That phrase, dying of embarrassment. It feels like I will die from embarrassment. We know what that means because that's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, I felt that. Anytime that there's been like public shame or embarrassment, it has that sense of tension, and like my stomach hurts and I feel paralyzed and trapped and small. And thankfully, thankfully I don't feel that very often, but I have definitely experienced that before.
Yeah. And when we don't address it, or when we try and just like push ourselves through it, it can get worse or exaggerated. And then when it comes to, stepping into our leadership voice, and, I've talked a lot, I've had the privilege to work with some amazing people, and, people who could stand on stage and talk to 10,000 people at the computer conference with no problem. But when it came time to share their own personal transformation with gut health, they burst into tears every time they talked about it because they cared so much. It meant so much to them. So again and again and again, people who may feel confident on stage, on camera, when they're talking about their passion, their dream, their vision, their unique secret sauce message that's coming through, it feels so personal. And then when you add to being on video, being on camera, the camera magnifies everything, and our bodies know molecules behave differently under observation. So when we're exposing ourselves, our whole nervous system's energy body, emotional body is like, oh crap, everybody's looking. Right? And so our body responds. Right? It's like, right? And it feels so permanent and so big, right? It feels so permanent and so big. And we also tend to focus on those little things that are annoying, like that are just not good enough, and blow them up out of proportion. I did an announcement in my Facebook group today, and I was talking, and I realized afterwards that my little, strap from my dress was showing, like a little wardrobe error, right? What is it called? Wardrobe
malfunction or something.
Thank you. I didn't have the malfunction.
At least it wasn't,
right. And some people have been worse in our virtual age. There have been way worse wardrobe malfunctions. So it can feel so vulnerable, and we feel like we need to be perfect, and we feel, especially when it comes to sharing a message around that is a business or a service or a healing gift that we're bringing through. Because if we look stupid, if we say it wrong, or we ramble, or, people can tell how scared we are, we fear that they're going to judge us. It's going to reduce our credibility, or they're going to think we're not professional. And then there's all the fraud stuff that comes up too. What if I say that this is true and I know this and I can help, and then I can't? Right? So visibility for me is a spiritual practice. It's a mat, like a yoga mat, where we have to keep coming to the mat again and again, like a martial arts practice where we come to the mat. You have to bring your presence, your voice, your courage, your best shot at it, right, to the mat again and again and again. And most of us, especially when we're highly sensitive, we have to have support, guidance, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
expect ourselves to just get over it and do it. But every great performance has a director. So having somebody who can help us feel safe and mirror back to us the power that we are and our greatness, instead of picking at our little flaws and trying to take the lint off our shoulder and tidy us up.
And do you think that this is important for everybody, or just like entrepreneurs who have a message to get out?
I think every human has a calling, and that the most powerful and transformational and expansive thing they can do, what we're really all here to do, is to express that calling. And some of us will find it and admit it and own it and know that we have it, and some of us won't. But that's the whole transformation thing. That's what we're here to do. That's the expansion. So I don't know if that answered your question, but everybody has a message. And I had the opportunity at first. My work really focused around singing, because that's how I reclaimed my voice. So I had teaching studios in New York City and in Portland, Oregon, both for over 10 years. And people would stumble into this sanctuary that I created, and they weren't singers or performers. They didn't even really want to sing. Many people had traumatic, shaming experiences around not singing. And some professional singers who gave it up and completely silenced because of the shame and energy and perfectionism that their teachers well-meaning teachers even, put on their voice. So here we are standing in the space of people would come and say, I don't even know what do you do here? What is this? Right. And then they would come and they would all of a sudden unlock this expressive, loud sounds, come to sing long sounds in front of people alone in a room with witnesses. So this wasn't singing together. This is what we do in that process, is like stand and sing. Yep. And I was so touched and inspired by the people who came and didn't know why they were there, but they would stay for years. People would say, like, you have to keep having class because this is my church. Yeah. Because sound and self-expression is the whole jam, right? It's especially powerful. The ultimate expression of it in some ways for me is that when we do align that self-expression and the free self-expression with calling and purpose and prosperity. Mm-hmm. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. And what do you think is the most powerful visibility platform for people who have a message, who have a calling, who want to inspire, heal, or just be loving out there in the world?
You ready?
Ready.
This is it. Live video. I really believe that live video is the most powerful platform that we have because of the way the brain processes video. We react to moving sounds and images differently. Our brain remembers how we feel. Maya Angelou's great quote about people don't remember what you say, they remember how you make them feel. Mm-hmm. And the power of video to imprint our energetic presence when we are freely, fully self-expressed and have the words and know how to build a bridge from what we're here to bring to our clients, then we can just drop in and send, and that imprints on the ones and zeros of video. And people watch video more. We can put huge value in the video. And when it's live, people know it. People know that it's happening right now. And that tool allows us to actually feel, connect, inspire, touch the hearts, minds, souls of the whole wide world. Mm-hmm. And then the replay is still going, right? 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Like, there is no better leveraged platform, because people, for buying a business, sharing a message, changing the world, starting a movement, expressing yourself, because it's global and it's massively impactful.
Yeah, I noticed that some people who I've even talked to about interviewing for this, and I have several people lined up. I'm pretty excited about that. Yay. I have people booked all the way out until friggin' October for this show. Yeah, yeah, and my message into September for my Soul of an Empath podcast that's coming out, and so there are some people that are like, well, is this going to be recorded or is this going to be live? And I could tell that some people felt more comfortable knowing that it could be recorded and edited if needed. I'm the type, and I think kind of always been this way, just one take and you're done. Like, give it your best go, and that's it, So I'm totally comfortable with the live version, like what you and I are doing right now.
Absolutely.
But I know some people tense up and freak out.
Yeah, it feels like a permanent record. And so there's a couple of things about that live. It's actually more forgiving because people know that you're live, right? And when we're talking on video, if you need to have some notes or some things just to stay on track, you can have that, and it can be, I don't, by the way. Not today, but you can have that tool and support. The interview format is so great for people that are nervous because you're just here talking. And honestly, the edited videos are awesome. They can do some cool things. I'm starting to really want that because I do a lot of live video. It's immediate. It's more forgiving. People know it's live. People want the real you. The real you is this magic secret sauce that you're here to bring through. And it's what will, for those of you who are entrepreneurs or looking to grow a movement, that's what's going to bring people to you, right? And then when we get into editing and recording, there's the stop and start and stop and start and stop and start and try and get it perfect, Editing is expensive. It takes a long time. But yeah, it is a real thing. So rather than helping people, like get good at video, what we do is we help them trust themselves and learn how to find the thought, and then learn how to change have a little bit of message mentoring to learn how to, your talking points, your phrases. And as you go live, like you're saying, I call us, I'm an improviser too. I divide the visibility into two categories. And you want to start with your strength. So some of us are improvisers, and it's better for us to jump in and talk it out. And having done that now for almost 4 years, almost daily, the words are here for me. It's not an issue anymore. I've had a lot of coaching and a lot of, I'm having an allergy attack. So if I sneeze, forgive me. I'm a human and it's live. I lost my train of thought thinking about my nose.
And that's the beauty of live. It's okay. Like if we need to sit there and take a drink of water, we take a drink of water. Like there's something very just human and normal and natural about it, that I think what you said about being more forgiving when it's live, versus someone who you can tell that it's edited and polished. There's a little extra level of critique or something that's on that versus a live something.
Well, it's just not as, there could be a little more, I think it's more authentic. The word's kind of overused right now, but it's more organic. We trust it a little bit more than if it's all slick and polished and brushed up and perfect, right? I think that whole perfectionism thing is such a trap.
Yeah. And can you talk to me about your visibility story?
Yeah, well, it started with that, I want to sing with the angels so much, and fleeing because it was traumatic. And ultimately, I had opportunities for me at first. Early on, it was really all around singing. And I see today why that is and how that's made me so able to help people uniquely, because, we used to say in my studios, singing, we don't need to jump out of airplanes because we stand alone in a room and sing in front of people because it feels that vulnerable. So I had I wanted to sing, and I was given opportunities, and I was told you could be a world-class vocalist. And all I ever heard was could be, and the perfectionism, and I couldn't let myself make a sound unless I knew it was going to be perfect. And I had this repetitive pattern of my body betraying me, choking, crying, can't breathe, can't remember the words, can't swallow. So I stopped for a long time, and it takes a lot of energy to hold your dream, your vision, your longing back. And so in order to do that, I did a lot of self-medicating and had a pretty low bottom with drugs and alcohol in my early 20s. And through that surrender, had a very profound and immediate and cellular psychic rearrangement from spirit. And that was called through me in a few experiences over a few years at that time of my life. And one of them was a Kundalini experience with my voice. And very quickly after that initial spiritual intervention, we'll call it, I started to have whole songs drop into my head. And I was like, well,
that's awesome.
Song, right? I'm like, okay, that's a song. And then I kind of told a friend, I was like, I think I wrote a song. And I sang a little bit. And she was like, if I could do that, I would. Right? And I was like, yeah, but I can't. Because if I try and do it in front of people, I know what's going to happen. But then I had the thought, thank you, universe. And I said, like, if you don't sing these songs, no one will ever hear them. No one else knows them. And so I went on a journey to find my singing voice. And through that, I discovered the massive transformation and creative power of all of us claiming our voice, and whether it's a song literally, or it's the song that is our message and our calling, and stepping into our own permission to be fully self-expressed through sound and voice.
And what do you think are the 3 most common blocks to people letting themselves be seen and visible and be put on video and camera?
Yeah. Fear of what other people think. It sounds so kind of reductive. It's like, well, I'm not really that afraid, but we are. It's dangerous. When people are going to judge us and kick us out of the cave, it's very primal fear. Fear of not being good enough. Like, what if I'm wrong? What if I say something? What if it looks bad? Fear of what other people think, fear of not being good enough. And that perfectionism, feeling like we can only put stuff out there that's impeccable in terms of our own kind of scathing, harsh judgment, right? Like, if it's going to be good enough, it can't have any typos, and it has to be spot on, perfect, word for word every single time, because the fear behind that is that it'll somehow, people will think that we're XYZ. So they kind of tie together. But I would say that's how those fears, what manifests is like fear of what other people think, fear of not being good enough, and needing to be perfect, right, in order to take up any space at all, right?
It can be hard. Like, for me, I'm not a word Nazi. Like, I'm a feeling person. I'm an empath. It's more about, like, are they being in their heart center when they're speaking?
Totally.
Are they, is this person coming from like a good hearted spiritual intention? And then it almost doesn't matter if they're not saying the exact right thing, because we can feel the essence behind what they're saying. And so that's my beliefs personally.
Sure.
But I do know that there are people out there that's like, oh, one type
people like
word or something. Sure. Yeah, but it's all based on their own insecurities.
Exactly. It's more of a reflection on them, right? And they do it in a well-meaning, I noticed that you didn't use the Oxford comma. And I'm like, okay, thank you for noticing. Did you read what I said? Right? It feels like a matter of safety and respectability. So it can feel very, very real, that kind of crippling perfectionism. And for me too, there's been a sense of like hyper integrity. Like, I have to be so impeccable that no one could ever accuse me of having a wrong thought, deed, or action, this, in order to take up any space at all, I have to be perfect. It was something that that was what singing became for me. Like, okay, I could be, but that means that every single note, I needed my body to be a computer, right? And that's really crushing for sound and vibration, which is beautiful. So singing is a great analogy, because when we're going live, we're talking, we have our talking points, you have some sort of structure, you've got your permission to share, you're going to share just because there's one person in the world who might be served that day. Your own transformation as you express and do the scary thing fills your energetic presence with kinetic energy that goes out and inspires. We did the Marianne Williamson thing a lot. Was the last
right?
Yeah,
year we did
Yeah.
the fundraiser to try to help promote Marianne.
Yeah,
Yep.
and she taught me years and years and decades ago that as we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So the transformation isn't just yours, but being
Ripples
self-expressed.
out.
Yeah, it goes out, and that kinetic energy does imprint on video. It's
Mhm.
very powerful. I know a lot of healers now who are embedding healing in video, and it
Oh, yeah.
it works. So yeah, it's powerful stuff. Powerful stuff.
Mhm. So, how can somebody start letting themselves be more visible now? Like, what do they need to do to give themselves permission?
Yeah. I think that the mistake we make is feeling like we know what we need to do. We just need to get up there and make ourselves do it. And there are many, camera confidence coaches or even video marketers digital marketers and well-meaning people who will say, just go do 50 Facebook Lives and then you won't feel the same. And that's probably true. However, that can be enough to just completely freeze us dead in our tracks, right? So I think that there's healing work to be done, and that the fast, most effective, kind, and rapidly transforming way to start to be more visible is in community, with a support with somebody. So what we do in my programs and in my community, in my Facebook community and in my classes and courses, is what I have named my own methodology is called transformative witnessing. So there's a way that happens.
Love it.
Right?
I love it. Mhm.
Thank you. I'm just letting it I'm just letting that cat out of the bag these days because I love it too. And we need it so much right now. We need to be seen and heard in this cherished way. We need to be seen and heard by someone who only sees the greatness and who only sees the possibility and who really can not just like string us along and give us a pep talk and say, oh yeah, it's great, don't worry. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this rigorous, rich, pulling out of you that is your message, your presence, your safety net. And when we're witnessed in this powerful way, there is a massive alchemical transformation. We have the chemistry of the crucible, right? We put the separate ingredients here and then we light a fire under it. And that fire is witness, being seen in it.
Love it.
Right? And then something else comes through. We become transmuted. And it is so visibility isn't something you go off alone and with your camera and try and get good at. And every great performance has a director. And a great director is somebody who gives you that, oh yeah, I'm going to do it that way, or oh yeah, that aha feeling. And not somebody who's like, yeah, you just need to be doing more this way, or it's fine, just do it that way. Or like, well, you sound, you said 14 times, right? Right? And yeah, and it's soul crushing.
Yeah.
You were talking about the power of how we make people feel. And I think I mentioned Maya Angelou's, I've done a couple of interviews today. So I think I mentioned Maya Angelou's quote about how people remember how we make us feel. One of my muses is Ralph Waldo Emerson. And he literally comes in and speaks to me. And he has this beautiful quote that says, as who you are, speak so loudly that I can't hear what you're saying. And that is incredibly powerful. Hi, Krista. It's so good to see you. That feeling that people have, the people who are picking lint off your shoulder and counting your ums are not your ideal audience. And they're having their own stuff to work through, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know that there are many people out there who still need and want help like this, whether or not it's because you professionally have a message or even just as personal growth and development, wanting to let your soul express.
Yes.
Right? So
stop holding yourself back, right? How exhausting it is to play small and to contract and to doubt and want to be a baker or a pizza store owner or a mom or a world-changing vocalist or whatever you're called to, right? Whatever you're called to, being fully self-expressed is what we're here to do. So
Yeah.
you're holding yourself back.
And how can people do that with you? I know that in the description, I gave them access to your free quiz.
Yes, yes.
But tell us more. Like, tell us how we can continue to work with you beyond just this.
Well, I think what's so exciting right now is that we have another masterclass coming up called Unleash Your Message. And I think we have a link that we can post for folks.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm going to post it here in this chat that I'm seeing. It's a powerful class.
Oh, you put it in the private chat. Can you?
Live comments. Thank you. Oh, look who's here. Hi, Krista. But it doesn't let me chat there. I don't have an option to post there.
Okay.
We're going to get you the link. It's an awesome class. Unleash your message, go live, get visible to attract and enroll clients. So the focus is on how do we show up to share our message and use this powerful platform of live. But we're going to talk about the resistance that we have and the cost of holding ourselves back and what we can do to find and free our message so that we can share it in the biggest possible way wherever you're called to do that. That's going to be, it's a powerful class. And I think that'd be a great next step if you want to know more about how to jump in and play with me and get visible. Yay. That doesn't look right, Tiffany. It looks like we're missing part of that link.
Okay, let me try again. Just kidding.
Yeah. Going with the flow, perfectly imperfect. Yeah, absolutely. It should have your name at the end, I think. Let me see. Yeah.
Yeah, it should, except it's not.
It's not posting.
Okay.
Well, I think we'll figure it, make sure that it's working and get it up there for you guys soon too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. I'm just going to try one more time to copy and paste it over.
Yeah. This idea of unleashing really speaks to me because I felt so withheld, so held back, literally constricted by my emotions and what I would now call self-centered fear. I didn't even know I was afraid. I thought I was just broken. I thought I was just ruining it. I don't know what I thought, but that feeling of being held back is something that so many of us live with or accept as normal, or maybe we don't even almost notice it. I think that link's going to work, Tiffany. It looks the same, but I think it's going to be fine.
I added a new one. Oh, well.
Yeah. I think
we'll put it in there for you guys.
The number matters. So anyway, yeah, that feeling of being withheld and withholding ourselves back from our own greatness is what we struggle against. So we're going to talk about that in class, and I'm excited to hear if you do decide to do the powerful presence quiz. It's really going to help you see where you're holding yourself back and how to start move forward, what your next steps are to move yourself forward.
I got it. You did it. I don't know why it feels triumphant since it wouldn't go up.
Every little win we have with technology.
Yes. Love it.
Awesome. Okay. What a great combo.
Yeah. This has been fun. Thank you so much for being with me and, this Highly Perceptive People Academy Empathic Community. I know that some of us could definitely use the wisdom and the healing and the insights that you have to share. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. It's an opportunity for me. I feel so passionate about it because that is, when we stop holding ourselves back, and because of what I've gone through of that holding back, when I am able to connect and share with people, the energetic resonance really does help to serve others. So when whoever you are, wherever you are, really express yourself, your journey and your transformation is embedded in that communication and sound vibration and presence too. So it's beautiful work. We're lifting up the world that way.
Well, keep it on, girl. Love it. All righty.
Thanks, Tiffany. So good to be with you.
You're welcome. Okay, so just as a little heads up for some future live streams tomorrow night, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, we'll do another Blessing for Humanity. We will do a Blessing for Humanity on Saturday at 12 noon. And so both of those have prayers, blessings for humanity, a group healing. Today we'll have a topic. Saturday we'll have community connection. And then on Saturday at 1:30, I'm going to have Wendy Hart be on for the live stream. And she is all about get out of procrastination. So we have some fun stuff coming up for the rest of this week. And Thursday, it's not on live stream, but if you haven't yet signed up for my See and Heal Your Blind Spots intro, please come, and you can sign up at seeyourblindspots.com. All right. See you like 4 more times this week. Okay.
Awesome. Thank
Bye
you
for
so much.
now. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.